Hello everyone, how you doing? Welcome to another video. This is the PS3's game reviews, which is not that common in this channel anymore. I sort of gave up on that. But I did finish playing this new game, well, new for me, The Last of Us for the PlayStation 3. I had a PlayStation 3 for quite many years now. I sort of stopped playing it because I had most of those games on PC, on Steam. And The Last of Us was one of the last few that was not available for PC and no plans for having it ported anytime soon. Now there are some rumors that maybe they'll port it in 2023 or 2024, or they'll start working on that. It might happen, might not happen, I don't know. But I've been looking for it and I found it on the trading site. I did some game trades to get it. I was kind of screwed on it, on my own fault. But well, it is what it is. Anyways, I got a copy of The Last of Us. I played it through. Error number one, it wasn't the Game of the Year edition. So it was missing the DLCs, which were included by default on the PS4 remaster, but are only included on the PS3 Game of the Year edition, which is usually why the Game of the Year edition is more expensive than the standard one, but the standard one was the only one I could get. The game overall was pretty good. I think it lived up to the hype that it has. It's a very good popularity. For those who don't know the game, it has a very high popularity score, and as a reference to a lot of other games out there. Sort of a zombie apocalypse thing, but with a small twist to it, and a little bit of an emotional story to go along with it, the relationship between this girl and an older man. I'm gonna do spoilers on this review, so if you're planning to play the game, want the spoiler free, I'm sorry. All I can say is that it's a game worth playing, checking out if you can get it cheap enough. So what can I say about the game? 3D assets is very good. The rendering is very good. The stealth and action combined elements are all right. I think they are well executed. Some scenes in particular felt a bit weird, but overall I think it was well. The real strong point is first the artwork. A lot of assets for the game, 3D assets, whole different cities drawn, and buildings with a lot of detail, like a museum of some sort at some point. A lot of very good locations, and a lot of work went into those 3D assets for sure. That's one of the high points. The second point is the relationship between the characters. It feels a bit forced on the storyline somehow because they need some sort of relationship, but they make it work, which was nice. One of the things that I didn't like is then the linearity of the gameplay, which you can sort of understand. They want you to go from point A to point B, and then point A to point B, and then point A to point B all the time. You can never backtrack on the game, pretty much. When you are backtracking is because it's a different scene, and you're going from a different point A to different B on a similar location, but it's pretty much the same. The same place with a different objective. That's it's a good way to drive the storytelling, but at the same point, why didn't you just make a movie out of it? I mean, if it's just going from point A to point B, why don't you just make a movie or a series out of things and you just tell the story anyways? I mean, there are gameplay elements in it, this whole stealth aspect, the going around, avoiding the monsters, avoiding the hunters, but I feel like they could easily be portrayed in a movie sort of way, and it would still have the same impact. So I'm a bit divided on that. Some people hate it, some people like it and feel that it's necessary. I like going for the ride and just enjoying the storyline instead of having the whole thing around, but I do appreciate other kinds of more immersive storytelling ways that games can try to find, as opposed to what you see on these sort of blockbuster games that just go from A to B all the time. It can get boring, but well, the craft system felt a bit useless. Like whenever you had some points to craft something up, you would have to pick what weapon you wanted to use, and then you would suddenly get a better weapon and not able to use it. There was hardly any difference between the revolver and the pistol, but you could still craft both of them to a large degree, which doesn't make any sense because you barely get any bullets for it anyways. So a lot of weird things like that that sort of take away from the experience, in my humble opinion. But overall, I think I enjoyed the game, so definitely worth checking out. More stuff that I wanted to say. So the game pretty much is the story of breeding a killer, like training this girl from being a useless dead weight to being the character that carries the team on her own. It kind of builds up on the whole violence thing. So the game doesn't shy away from violence. There's a stealth aspect to it, but overall, you can always resort to violence, and there's always a lot of violence in the game. So definitely high rated. One of the things that I didn't like about it was how they made this character Ellie into this killer character sort of thing, while at the same time trying to pretend that she still has some degree of innocence. It was difficult juggle to maintain, and I'm not sure how well it worked. In the beginning, you could definitely feel the innocence in her, despite her being able to hold her own. In the end, you feel like she has lost all of that. So I guess overall, the spirit of the transitioning of the character sort of worked in that regard. But I don't know. I wasn't very convinced with that aspect. Another aspect that I didn't really appreciate was the hunters, which were other humans that were not infected yet, that just scavenge the thing, hunting down tourists, as they call them, to see what they have, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever. If you're in a chaotic future, in a dystopic future, tourists won't be bringing all that much stuff with them, so you're just wasting bullets. And there's one scene in particular where they say that exactly, they just killed a couple and they're like, oh, no good shoes, no food on them, useless. Yeah, they're traveling people, of course they don't have anything, any proper thing. They come to the city to find anything, so it doesn't make any sense that there's a whole community that survives on just doing this hunting business. And they reuse that gimmick twice in the game on two different phases. There are two different groups of hunters. The first one sort of made sense. They degenerated from the main city. They became like militia groups. They attack the police. They try to take over. They don't have any resources, so they just attack whoever comes in. They sort of make sense, not very much, but it sort of does. The other group, when you reach the university, they just attack you out of nowhere, like truck full of people. And then later on, the story is revealed that, yeah, they were a group and they were running low on resources. So they did a run. They sent a few people to do a run. And they just start randomly shooting people. Like, that's not doing a run to scavenge for food. That's not searching for food. That's just hunting other people down. And what's the point of that? You think other, like, two lone people will have a whole lot of food on their backpack that will feed like 30, 40 people? That doesn't make any sense. Then, of course, we are forced to kill them. We kill like 30 people easily on the first section. And then they still come back for more. They die a few more, and then still they don't have... It turns out that they are cannibals. They eat humans as well. So why didn't they just use the humans that of their own that just died and feed on that for the rest of the winter? Why are they still hunting down more tourists? It doesn't... The whole thing doesn't make much sense. Overall, it's just... It felt forced just to have like bad people on it attacking you for the hell of it, which is never a good idea in any dystopic society. We've already seen that in Walking Dead plenty of times. So I wasn't very convinced with those hunters. And even when it was revealed that were cannibals, they were still, like, the main guy was still very interested in Ellie. He thought she was special, and I never quite got it. Was she, like, special? He wanted to eat her? He wanted to, like, make her a part of the community? And it didn't make any sense how she replied as well, because she had no hints that they were like a bad community of any sort until the cannibalism was revealed. And even cannibalism, I mean, if you're dying out of lack of food and you have dead people next to you, of course you're going to eat the dead people. So it can be understood to a certain degree. So that whole aspect of those second group of hunters felt a bit weird to me, and it definitely killed a lot of the thing. And then they complained, like, they sent like 30-40 people to kill 2 people trying to scavenge for food. That doesn't make any sense to begin with. And then the guy complained, it was a crazy person who attacked us and killed us all. Like, what the fuck? You're the one who attacked. You're the one that's not looking for food. That's looking for trouble. Anyways, that was weird. So yeah. And then the last issue that I had with the game overall was when they mentioned about Riley. Riley's a character that ends up being mentioned on the DLC as like a friend of Ellie's before she has this whole adventure with the guy. And she's never mentioned throughout the game once whatsoever. Never. On the last scene of the game, they mention her. Like, oh, and there's this person, Riley, that I want to tell you about. And the game ends. What? Like, they want to plug that? They already had the DLC planned, and they put that as a last-minute note to attract people to buy the DLC? Was that the point? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Why didn't they edit some scenes on the middle of the game to, you know, mention Riley in the slightest way? It doesn't make any sense. So yeah, in a lot of these aspects, the game was a bit weird for me. But overall, I did enjoy it, and I think it does live up to the praise that it has, especially in terms of art quality. In terms of gameplay, I really hate the PlayStation aiming thing with the joysticks, whatever they're called. I've never touch sensitive enough to have a proper aim. I always do too much or too little, so I really hate them, and I really prefer games who have auto aim, where you have to click the shoulder button to switch aims to someone else or something like that, which is one of the reasons I don't play PlayStation games anymore, especially not these open world sort of games. I had the same problem with Red Dead Redemption and Grand Theft Auto, but I think those had auto aim of some sort, which was very useful, which on PC you're using the mouse and it's much easier to aim, and on PlayStation it's just weird. Maybe I'm just not used to the thing. I need to do like very small movements, and I always do like too much. So maybe it's me. Maybe I don't have the sensibility for it. Maybe I have too big hands. I don't know. Anyways, that's the video I wanted to make, just to document my experience playing the game after many years looking for it, trying to get it. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think, if you played Last of Us already or not, if you're thinking of playing it. Let me know what you think on the comments below. See you next video. Bye bye everyone. Take care.